Right? A lot of people, they view mindfulness as you come to this class and okay, now I'm good. So when something happens a year from now, I'm going to be okay. No, if it you make it needs to be a continuous practice, or it should be a continuous practice, and if not every day, at least a few days a week, but something routine, right? And that way, it's going to be available when you do need it. If you think that you're going to go through this course and 6 months down the road, God forbid, there's an officer involved shooting or something, and I don't know why I'm being overwhelmed. I went to a mindfulness class 6 months ago. No, man, you need to have it a continuous practice so that we build that connection between the cortex, the prefrontal cortex, and the emotional brain, the limbic system, right? And that's why it's important to do this on a daily basis. And it's not, and that's dramatic, right? An officer involved shooting and all that stuff. But what about the everyday life, right? Where you did do your shifts and you did your 16-hour shift or whatever the case may be, or the riots that are coming up that are scheduled for November 6th. What about all that stuff? And then you go home. It's not quiet at home, is it? It's not quiet at my house, right? And now all your kids want you to take you to practice. They want to hang out. But you just did a 20-hour shift and you just saw some awful stuff. And now your stress is through the roof. And then your kids want to do stuff with you and hang out with you. Can you see how you could? Because I've done it. So I'm not. And by the way, I'm not saying anything that I haven't done. I was that guy that used to explode on the kids because they weren't tying their shoes fast enough because of my own past trauma of PTSD. So what I'm getting at is, if you can make this a continuous practice, you'll notice before you explode. You'll notice, holy shit, I'm about to blow up on these kids for no reason. I better take a step back and breathe, right? And what I will relay is in my own experience, before I got involved with mindfulness and peer support and all that, is I lost a soldier on January 22nd, 2009 at 6:45 p.m. in Iraq, Al Qud, Iraq. I lost him in a rollover, right? And before we go into that whole scene, which we won't right now, you can imagine that kind of caused some issues with me, right? But me and my guys, we did come back 2 weeks later. We took 2 weeks off to kind of decompress. We went on to do 96 more combat missions. Did some great stuff in Iraq. And kudos to my guys for having that kind of strength and that resilience. But I still didn't seek help until January 2016 when the perfect storm happened for me, which I was forced to go get help, which thank God I did, right? Because but what was happening from January 2009 to January 2016, especially when I came back home from Iraq, was every time I saw like a vehicle roll over on the highway or a bad accident, it's like boom, zap back right to Iraq. Like, just here I am, back in uniform in a Humvee in Iraq, and obviously that's not real, right? But I would be so intense and so stressed out where that's what was happening. And then if my kids in the back seat, if they were talking or doing anything that annoyed me, I'd snap on them, right? And I'm sure, and I won't ask you guys to share unless anybody wanted to share, if you have any similar stories. What happened after cognitive processing therapy, which is mindfulness, it's just mindfulness with a clinician. What happened after that is you're able to recognize these signs coming on. So now what happens if I see a rollover on the highway, I think about my soldier, right? And I think about it, right? But I don't dwell on it. I don't ruminate over it. And I definitely don't snap on my kids anymore. And I sense it coming, right? I sense the stress coming when I'm in a crowd. Am I anybody like crowds? I hate them, right? I sense that stress coming on. And so what I do now is I talk to my wife and hey, I need 2 minutes. I take a step back, do some breathing. All right, I'm back at it, good to go. And it only took 2 minutes, right? Which is a lot healthier, right? I mean, I was at work snapping at my employees, right? Because I was an assistant field office director. And so again, it was bad, but when I learned these skills, it enabled me to see the storm coming before it came. And so it enabled me to kind of take that step back, breathe, respond a lot healthier, as opposed to that initial reaction of, what this guy did in that cartoon, right? Which I think we can all relate to that. And if you can't, then, by all means, I guess we can end the class now, but I assume that we can. I assume we all deal with stress just by being in New England, and then by being in this area of New England, and then by being in law enforcement. Again, it just adds up, right? And a lot of us, we don't take the time to address the stuff because we think, oh, no, we're good. And it's not, because, I consider it to put it in the rucksack, and that rucksack gets heavy. Yeah, some of us have bigger rucksacks than the other, it's still a rucksack, and that rucksack, you know what a rucksack is, right? And that rucksack is still going to fill up. And if we don't empty it every now and then, it's all right. We're going to topple, and then that's when the storm happens. That's when bad shit happens, right? That's when we get in trouble, right? So mindfulness is going to allow you to kind of feel that sensation coming on before it happens, right? Because of what it's going to do is it's going to give you that interoceptive awareness to recognize what that feels like, and also to recognize what the good feels like and what the positive feels like, right? That's what everything we do and every question I ask you from this point on, and every journaling that we do is all about making that connection so that you recognize when this is going on, right? Because for one, we have to increase our positivity because we just don't have any. We have to increase that. We have to increase our gratitude and our self-compassion and all of this stuff. And if you are a naysayer in this room, you're not more of a naysayer than I was prior to January 2016. Trust me. Like there's no way you could have got me in this room. But you guys are here, so that's kudos to you, whether you're here forced or not. It's still you're here, so we're going to take advantage of this time and do it the right way. So the next thing we have is the mountain visualization, and I know some of you have done this before, but this could always be something new. This could be something you do periodically because there's always new goals and new things that you want to achieve. So the way we're going to do this is a meditation, right? We're going to meditate. I'm going to say words to you, and I'm not looking for answers, but I'm saying this stuff for you to think about. And I want you to picture and visualize, right? Visualize the mountain, visualize what it means to you, and just every single detail, right? And so the way that we're going to do this is we're going to sit straight up, but not rigid, feet flat on the ground. I put my hands on my lap. Again, you can close your eyes or you can gaze downwards, whatever's comfortable for you, right? I want you to take 3 deep breaths in through the nose. I want you to hold for 4 seconds and do long, audible exhales out. I want you to do that 3 or 4 times, and I want you to return to normal breathing. I want you to picture that you're breathing in positivity and exhaling all that negativity, right? Get all that bullshit out of here. And with every exhale that you do, you're going to let every muscle relax. Breathe in positivity. Hold for 4 seconds. Exhale the negativity. Just return to normal breathing. Your mind's going to wander, and that's perfectly fine. That's normal. Right now, as you're sitting there, eyes closed, hopefully trying to relax, trying to clear your mind. Your mind's probably racing, thinking about what's about to happen, what are you about to do. Just try to be present to the here and the now. Hear the breeze from the windows. Maybe feel the breeze. What's going on in your chest? What's going on with your heart? What's going on with your muscles? Now I want you to imagine yourself standing at the foot of an imaginary mountain. All right, this is your mountain. Each mountain is going to look different. You can make this mountain look however you want it to look. We're not looking for anything specific. Whatever comes to mind is the right answer. Okay? As you look up, you see the peak. It's covered in clouds. All right, now if you picture your mountain, I want you to take in the details of your mountain, right? The size of the mountain, the shape of the mountain. the different features and the presence of your mountain. Take all that in right now. Get a good picture. Whatever comes to mind is the right answer. What details really stand out? As you continue breathing, right? Breathing in the positive, exhaling the negative, let every muscle relax and looking at your mountain. What are you thinking right now? What are you feeling right now? The mountain could be a metaphor for a goal you might have, something you want to accomplish. It could even represent a challenge that you have coming up. No wrong answer. It's even possible that this mountain is the reason you've chosen to be here at the mindfulness class today. Really think about this. What does that mountain represent to you? And just listen to whatever comes up. You're out trying to figure out the perfect answer. Whatever comes up is the answer. Keep breathing. Keep relaxing. Whatever we exhale, we let gravity do its job and just pull those muscles down and relax as we're looking up at our mountain. As you continue gazing up at your mountain, you see the weather begins to shift. It's exposing an even greater peak, a second peak. The second peak for some could symbolize the core aspirations, right? That's what you've been seeking all along. It's kind of what your heart really wants, right? This is the big goal. And just keep asking, keep listening to yourself. What does that second peak really represent? What are your core aspirations? Almost think about it. How is it that you want to be, or how do you want to be? Could be family related, could be work related, could be both. There's no wrong answer. As you look down, you notice that you're standing at the beginning of an unmarked trailhead. You don't know the terrain, or how long the trail is, or what you may experience along the way. But you got to think deep down, something is compelling you to start this climb up your mountain. This is your mountain, all right? Something to tell you to begin this climb. And think about that. What is telling you to start this climb? What is motivating you to start this climb up your mountain? Your challenge, your goals. And just notice whatever thoughts come in. It's like, what's our driving factor here? So imagine yourself walking along your path up your mountain, truly enjoying your hike. What about this path gives you your greatest joy? What details are you noticing as you're going up your path? The trees, the animals, rocky terrain, smooth terrain. Beautiful day out right now as you climb your mountain to the first peak. You made it to the first peak, but you keep going, or not, or you decide to stay. We'll go back down, totally up to you. No wrong answer. For those of you that keep going to the second peak, again, it was a beautiful day, but now you notice the clouds are coming in, right? Bad weather starting to roll in. Temperatures dropping, guys. It's starting to rain. It's getting cold. The terrain's getting a little more rocky, a little more slippery. You guys are tired. You've been climbing this mountain. You guys are tired. It's really the time to decide if we're going to go down, go to the first peak, or continue climbing. There's no wrong answer. This is just how you decide to do. So imagine yourself finally reaching the highest peak. The weather's nice up here. The clouds are gone. The sun's shining again. And here you are at the top of your mountain, at the highest peak. I want you to take it in, how that feels right now. What it represents and how that feels. How are you feeling right now at the top of your peak, of your mountain? You're looking down at all you just climbed. So what does it feel like to have reached your goal? And what thoughts do you have about being complete? You just sit here for a moment, just absorbing that feeling, what that feels like. When you're ready, I want you to take 3 deep breaths in through the nose, hold for 4 seconds, and do a long exhale out. Return to normal breathing. And just come back whenever you're ready. No rush, take your time. Everyone's still awake, right? That's good. Some yawning going on though. I think I did too. How do you not? Let's talk about this before we do the journaling.